In a distant land, high in the mountains, a boy named Kintaro pedaled his bike up a steep road, drenched in sweat. When Kintaro reached a gas station at the top of the hill, he noticed the same woman had arrived before him. She looked at him and nodded, charming him instantly. She pulled out an energy drink and took it as if it were some kind of holy water in a sexy way. Kintaro panicked and stumbled, hitting the ground as she continued drinking her energy drink. She pushed herself against her motorbike, awkwardly shifting between sitting and standing on it in a way that looked so... It was beyond explanation. Afterward, she let out a loud moan, then revved the throttle, accelerating her bike before speeding away. Kintaro panicked and started chasing after her, hoping to get his janitor job at her house. However, she drove away. After a morning passed, Kintaro arrived at a big estate and got a part-time janitor job. Kintaro did all kinds of janitor work, but the tasks were done with strict attention to posture and form, emphasizing elegance in every action. As days went by, Kintaro learned how to eat and work in this refined atmosphere. One day, the estate's daughter, Reiko, who was the woman Kintaro saw in the first scene, walked by, giving him a gaze that caused him to blush from head to toe. Later, while carrying a stack of prepared food, he accidentally dropped it when Reiko passed by. Reiko skillfully avoided the falling stack of food, and Kintaro, flustered, apologized. She asked if he was hurt, but he said he was fine, his heart racing from the encounter. He bowed deeply as she walked away. The following morning, Kintaro saw Reiko having breakfast, which made him blush again. He walked away to focus on his duties cleaning the toilet. He reminded himself that he was a man and that a man shouldn't act in a perverted or weird way. But despite this, he hugged the toilet like a pillow. Reiko caught him in the act, but to his surprise, she closed the door without scolding him. Feeling relieved, Kintaro continued with his work. Shortly afterward, the caretaker arrived and fired Kintaro, dismissing him from the estate. But Kintaro doesn't give up yet. He waits, thinking something might happen if he's patient. He waits so long that he eventually falls asleep. Morning comes, and Kintaro resumes spying on the entrance. Just as he's about to lose hope, a taxi drives by, and he spots Reiko inside. Without hesitation, he starts following the taxi, which leads him to a shady location. He sneaks into a building and finds Reiko doing weird stuff with her motorbike again. But Reiko notices him and calls him out. She smirks and asks, "Do you want to do it with me?" Kintaro nervously replies, "I'd be lying if I said I don't," meaning he's all in. She offers him a chance, on one condition, if he can beat her motorbike in a race. Kintaro, realizing he is a man and a man shouldn't do any perverted or weird stuff, he accepts her challenge without any hesitation. Reiko confidently revs her powerful motorbike, while Kintaro shows up with his old, clunky pink bicycle, clearly at a disadvantage. The race begins. Reiko takes off like a rocket, disappearing miles ahead, while Kintaro crawls along at a snail's pace. Feeling smug, Reiko starts thinking Kintaro must be crazy to think he could catch up. But Kintaro spots a danger shortcut. He knows how dangerous it is, but he realizes he is a man, and a man shouldn't say no to dangerous. And the goal of going to heaven with Reiko, he doesn't hesitate, starts cycles down the treacherous path, flies across a river, and even cycles through water like a madman. Meanwhile, Reiko zooms past a car driver, nearly causing an accident. The driver, furious, starts chasing after her. Kintaro catches up to the angry driver and hooks his bike to the car using a rope he'd prepared. Suddenly, the car slams on its brakes to avoid hitting a raccoon, sending Kintaro flying onto an electrical wire. Amazingly, he survives and starts cycling along the wire itself. As the sun rises, Reiko notices Kintaro's shadow on the road below her, and it shocks her. She starts taking him more seriously and increases her speed. Kintaro jumps off the wire and lands on the highway, continuing the race. When they reach a sharp curve, Kintaro slides left and right across it using just his hands and feet, leaving Reiko stunned by his insane determination. The two finally come across a road closed due to construction. Reiko doubts Kintaro can possibly make it across, thinking, "This isn't a cartoon." She speeds up but ultimately brakes, fearing for her life. Kintaro, on the other hand, launches himself off the edge, flying through the air and crashing into a forest below. Reiko, amazed, thought that he was too amazing but was convinced he was dead, only to see Kintaro emerge from the forest, pedaling his old pink bike like a maniac on the highway. Witnessing this sheer madness, Reiko can't help but start chasing after him. But Kintaro left her life after all. The end of the story. Click here to continue if I have already released it.